Ladies and gentlemen, today we are witnessing a moment that reminds us how fragile yet powerful international relationships can be. Imagine the weight on a leader's shoulders when an unexpected incident threatens decades of diplomacy, trust, and cooperation. Now imagine taking responsibility in real time, reaching across borders and speaking directly to another nation, not with excuses, but with honesty, accountability, and a commitment to repair what was broken. In the next few minutes, we'll explore what happened when Israel's Prime Minister made a live call to Qatar after an attack, and why those words of apology mattered far more than headlines. This is not just a story about politics or international affairs. It is a story about leadership, courage, and the lessons we can all learn about owning our mistakes, acting with integrity, and building bridges even in the most challenging moments. As we go deeper, I want you to reflect on this. True leadership is never about avoiding blame. It's about stepping forward, taking responsibility, and creating a path toward understanding and collaboration. By the end of this talk, you will see how one conversation, one gesture of accountability can ripple across nations, inspire trust, and set an example for all of us in business, in life, and in every challenge we face. So stay with me, because the lessons in this story are not just about diplomacy. They are about how we as individuals and as global citizens can lead with courage, act with sincerity, and turn moments of crisis into opportunities for growth. The act of a national leader offering a public apology to another country holds profound significance in the realm of international diplomacy. When Israel's Prime Minister reaches out directly to Qatar following an attack, the apology transcends mere words. It becomes a symbol of accountability and a demonstration of respect for international norms. In a world where diplomatic tensions can escalate quickly, acknowledging mistakes or misunderstandings in a transparent manner helps to prevent conflicts from deepening and provides a foundation for constructive dialogue. Apologies in diplomacy are not signs of weakness. Rather, they are strategic instruments that can rebuild trust between nations and reassure the global community that responsible leadership is in place. Public acknowledgement of responsibility carries multiple layers of importance. For one, it signals to the country affected that their grievances are being taken seriously, which can help ease immediate tensions and reduce the risk of retaliation or further escalation. At the same time, it communicates to domestic and international audiences that the leadership is committed to ethical governance and accountability. In the case of Europe and other international observers, witnessing a leader take responsibility in a transparent manner reinforces the perception that diplomatic engagement is being conducted with integrity and sincerity. This can positively influence negotiations, partnerships, and collaborations across regions. Moreover, the medium of communication, such as a live call, adds an additional layer of significance. Unlike written statements or second-hand reports, live interactions carry authenticity and immediacy, allowing both parties to express intentions, clarify misunderstandings, and respond in real time. This approach helps prevent misinterpretation and demonstrates genuine willingness to resolve issues. Transparency in such moments builds confidence not only between the directly involved nations, but also among allies, partners, and global institutions monitoring the situation. Finally, the broader message is that international relations are not solely about strategic interests, but also about human responsibility and respect for others. Public apologies convey empathy and understanding, which are crucial for long-term reconciliation. They remind the international community that even in tense or complex scenarios, dialogue, acknowledgement of mistakes, and a commitment to corrective measures can foster stability, prevent escalation, and create pathways for constructive collaboration. This framework of accountability ultimately strengthens global diplomatic norms, showing that even in moments of crisis, principled leadership can guide nations toward peaceful resolution. The consequences of any aggressive incident between nations extend far beyond the immediate parties involved, often impacting the broader regional stability in profound ways. When Israel's Prime Minister issues an apology to Qatar following an attack, it signals an awareness of the delicate balance that exists in the Middle East, a region historically marked by political tensions, territorial disputes, and shifting alliances. Such actions are significant because even a single event can set off a chain reaction, influencing neighboring countries, economic partnerships, and ongoing peace initiatives. A measured response, therefore, is crucial to prevent escalation and maintain a sense of order in an otherwise volatile environment. Regional stability is not only a matter of preventing further violence, but also of ensuring that diplomatic, economic, and security frameworks remain intact. Qatar, as a prominent player in the Gulf region, holds both political influence and economic leverage through energy resources and strategic partnerships. A direct apology from Israel demonstrates a recognition of the broader implications of the incident, acknowledging that tensions in one country can ripple across borders, affecting alliances, trade, and international perceptions. For European nations and other global actors invested in Middle Eastern stability, such diplomatic gestures are reassuring because they indicate that leaders are actively managing conflicts rather than allowing them to spiral out of control. Moreover, the act of addressing the incident openly communicates a commitment to de-escalation. By choosing dialogue over denial or deflection, Israel signals that it understands the interconnected nature of regional politics. In the context of Europe, this is particularly important because the stability of the Middle East has direct implications for energy security, migration, and counterterrorism efforts. A responsible approach to conflict management strengthens multilateral cooperation and provides a model for conflict resolution that transcends immediate national interest, highlighting the interconnected responsibilities of countries within the global community. In addition, the apology creates an opportunity for preventive diplomacy, where leaders can address potential misunderstandings and clarify intentions before they develop into larger crises. It underscores the idea that even in tense situations, proactive engagement and acknowledgement of responsibility can limit the potential for retaliation, reduce miscalculations, and foster a sense of predictability in international relations. By mitigating tensions and opening channels for communication, such actions help ensure that regional dynamics remain balanced, that alliances remain functional, and that the broader international community, including European nations with vested interests, can navigate the region with greater confidence and stability. Leadership in times of international tension is defined not only by the ability to make strategic decisions, but also by the willingness to assume responsibility for the consequences of those decisions. When Israel's Prime Minister issues a public apology to Qatar following an attack, it exemplifies a model of accountability that is critical in the practice of diplomacy. Taking ownership of actions, whether intended or unintended, reflects maturity in governance and conveys a clear message to both domestic and international audiences that ethical considerations are prioritized alongside political objectives. Leaders who demonstrate accountability build credibility, strengthen trust, and create an environment in which dialogue and negotiation can occur without the shadow of suspicion or defensiveness. Accountability in leadership also functions as a mechanism for conflict mitigation. By openly acknowledging mistakes, a leader can prevent misunderstandings from escalating into larger confrontations. The act of apologizing shows that the leader is not attempting to deflect responsibility or manipulate narratives, but is committed to rectifying situations that may have caused harm. This approach is particularly significant in regions marked by complex political dynamics, where the absence of accountability can lead to entrenched hostilities and long-term instability. In this context, the willingness to communicate directly with affected nation fosters mutual respect and encourages reciprocal gestures, which can ultimately strengthen bilateral relations and regional cooperation. Furthermore, accountable leadership demonstrates foresight and strategic thinking. It reflects the understanding that international relations are not zero-sum games, but intricate networks of interdependent relationships. A leader who acknowledges errors and engages in sincere dialogue reduces the likelihood of retaliation and builds a platform for constructive negotiation. In doing so, they signal to other nations that the country is guided by principles rather than opportunism, enhancing its reputation as a reliable and responsible actor on the global stage. This credibility is crucial in securing alliances, mediating conflicts, and participating effectively in multilateral institutions, particularly in contexts where European nations and other global stakeholders monitor developments closely. Accountable leadership also shapes domestic perception, reinforcing confidence in governance and promoting social cohesion. Citizens are more likely to support leaders who act transparently and ethically, even in difficult circumstances, because such actions reflect integrity and moral responsibility. At the international level, this approach facilitates trust building, reduces miscalculations, and creates opportunities for collaboration in areas ranging from economic partnerships to security initiatives. By embodying accountability, a leader demonstrates that diplomacy is not merely about negotiation and power projection, but about principled engagement, responsible decision-making, and the long-term pursuit of stability and cooperation. The way a leader communicates with the international community following a critical incident can significantly shape global perceptions and influence diplomatic outcomes. When Israel's Prime Minister delivers an apology to Qatar, the messaging is as important as the content itself. International audiences, including governments, media, and civil societies, carefully observe such interactions to assess sincerity, intent, and the potential impact on regional stability. A clear, thoughtful, and timely message conveys that the leader is fully aware of the repercussions of the incident and is committed to addressing them responsibly, which in turn strengthens the country's credibility on the global stage. The choice of medium plays a pivotal role in how the message is received. A live call, for instance, provides immediacy and transparency that written statements or indirect reports cannot match. It allows both parties to engage in real-time dialogue, clarifying intentions, expressing remorse, and responding to questions without the risk of misrepresentation. This dynamic form of communication helps demonstrate authenticity, making it more difficult for critics to dismiss the apology as a superficial or politically motivated gesture. International observers, particularly European nations that prioritize diplomatic transparency, are likely to interpret such direct engagement as a sign of good faith leadership and a willingness to adhere to international norms of accountability. Beyond the immediate bilateral relationship, the apology and its delivery have wider implications for global diplomacy. The international community often views these gestures as benchmarks for responsible state behavior, setting expectations for how other countries might handle similar situations. When leaders communicate openly and sincerely, they help reinforce standards of conduct that reduce misunderstandings and prevent escalation in future crises. This is particularly important in regions with complex geopolitical dynamics, where the actions of one nation can have cascading effects on trade, security, and multilateral cooperation. Moreover, public messaging in high-stakes situations communicates values such as respect, empathy, and strategic foresight. It signals that the nation is committed to dialogue rather than confrontation, and that it recognizes the interconnectedness of global affairs. By managing the message effectively, leaders can reassure allies and partners, shape international narratives, and demonstrate that even under pressure, diplomacy is guided by principle and prudence. The broader lesson is that communication is not merely a tool for explanation, but a strategic instrument for shaping perceptions, fostering trust, and promoting stability in an interconnected world where every word, tone, and gesture carries weight and influence. An apology between nations, while significant in itself, is only the beginning of a longer process that requires concrete actions to ensure reconciliation and prevent recurrence. When Israel's Prime Minister reached out to Qatar following an attack, the gesture was a vital first step, but the effectiveness of such an apology depends on the follow-up measures that accompany it. Future steps are essential because an apology without action risks being perceived as symbolic or insincere. Effective diplomacy demands that nations demonstrate through policies, agreements, and ongoing engagement that they are committed to resolving underlying issues and fostering lasting trust. The first element of these actions involves transparent communication and dialogue. Beyond the initial apology, structured discussions allow both parties to articulate concerns, set expectations, and negotiate mechanisms that prevent similar incidents in the future. This approach emphasizes accountability and ensures that both nations are aligned on shared goals such as security cooperation, intelligence sharing, or economic collaboration. By establishing clear protocols and preventive measures, leaders can reduce misunderstandings and demonstrate a proactive commitment to maintaining peaceful relations. Another critical aspect is the implementation of corrective policies or operational adjustments. In the context of international conflict, these may include reviewing military protocols, revising rules of engagement, or strengthening mechanisms for rapid response to emergencies. Such tangible actions reinforce the sincerity of the apology and show that leadership is actively learning from past mistakes. They also provide reassurance to the global community, including European nations invested in regional stability, that the incident will not recur and that measures are in place to uphold international standards. Long-term reconciliation also involves fostering collaboration on broader initiatives that build trust over time. Diplomatic agreements, joint humanitarian efforts, or economic partnerships can transform a moment of tension into an opportunity for stronger bilateral relations. By committing to ongoing cooperation, nations move beyond the immediate incident and create a framework for sustainable engagement. This approach signals to the international community that the country values stability and constructive interaction rather than short-term political expediency. Ultimately, the lesson is that apologies in international relations are most effective when combined with deliberate, measurable, and sustained actions. Leadership that prioritizes follow-through demonstrates responsibility, foresight, and a genuine commitment to peace. By translating words into deeds, nations can rebuild trust, prevent future conflicts, and contribute to a more predictable and stable global environment, illustrating that effective diplomacy requires both acknowledgement of mistakes and meaningful, forward-looking solutions. In conclusion, the recent apology extended by Israel's Prime Minister to Qatar serves as a powerful reminder that leadership, accountability, and diplomacy are intertwined in shaping the course of international relations. It demonstrates that even in moments of tension and uncertainty, courage, transparency, and a commitment to dialogue can pave the way for reconciliation and lasting trust. By acknowledging mistakes, engaging directly, and taking meaningful follow-up actions, nations show that diplomacy is not just about strategy, but about principled decision-making and respect for shared global responsibilities. Such examples inspire confidence not only in the countries directly involved, but also in the broader international community, highlighting the enduring importance of integrity and foresight in global leadership. As we reflect on these lessons, let us carry forward the understanding that challenges are opportunities for growth, that accountability strengthens credibility, and that thoughtful communication can transform potential conflict into collaboration. Let us apply these principles in our own professional and personal lives, fostering relationships built on respect, transparency, and trust. Good luck to each of you in your endeavors, and thank you for your time, attention, and commitment to understanding the complexities of leadership and diplomacy in today's world.